Good morning, boys and girls. Today we're going to do some scientific experiments. We're going to see what we can investigate and find out. Today we're going to find out why things, if they float or if they sink. Now, do you know what the word float and sink means? Tell the person next to you. That's right, you got it. If something floats, it stays above the water. But if it sinks, it falls below the water. We're going to do some experiments and find out what items we can find around the house, which of them float and which of them sink. And we're going to think about why that happens as well. Let's see what we can find. Here are some items I've found around the house. Some of them are big, some of them are small, some of them are light, and some of them are heavy. Which do you think are going to float? And which do you think are going to sink? Now, what I've done, I've ran the bath. Now, speak to an adult or grown-up before you find out about running the bath, but you could always use a washing up bowl. And I've also made a chart, so we're going to put on here which things float and which things sink. We can draw a picture and we could label it to record our findings. Shall we start? What shall we start with? Here we go. Right, I'm going to start with this stone first. Ooh. That feels quite heavy. Who thinks this is going to float above the water, or who thinks it's going to sink under the water? Have a guess. Let's find out. I'm going to pop it in the water. Oh, that sunk straight down to the bottom. That was very heavy. Let's get him out. Yeah, so he's going to go in my sink pile here. We'll sort that out. Right, what should we choose next? Something similar size. An apple. Is that going to float or is it going to sink? Let's find out. What do you think, boys and girls? Let's try. Oh, that's floating. That's on the surface of the water. You can see it bobbing up and down. Right, so that's a floating one. So is that going to go over here? No, it's going to go over here in the float pile. Right, let's see what else we can find. Something small. Right, I've got a coin. It's a 50p coin. Count the sides on that. So we're going to put this coin in the water. Right, let's have a see what it's going to do. Float or sink. It's quite heavy. Well, it's not that heavy. It's not as heavy as the stone. Let's see. Oh, straight to the bottom. That's one in the sink pile. Now, I found a button here. Now this is the same size as that 50p. Let's see what this does. That's sunk as well. That was lighter, but it's still sunk. Now, I've got a old table tennis ball here. Let's try that out. That's floating on the surface of the water there. Brilliant. Right, we're going to try a few more objects now and let's record what we find. Think about why they are floating. There's this old stamp here. This feels quite light. Let's pop this in the water. Oh, there he is, floating on the surface. What about a rubber? Let's see what he does. Sunk straight to the bottom. He's going in that pile. Now, found a candle here, a tea light. Let's see what happens when we pop this in the water. Use this one carefully. He's floated on the top, can you see? That's right. Now I've got a spoon. What do you think is going to happen to this? Let's have a look. Oh, if you said it was going to sink, you were right. Point to you. Pencil. Let's have a think. What's that going to do? That's floated as well. Now that was very light. The pencil was light, so that's why that's floated on the surface. But the spoon was heavy. That's why it is sunk. Right, we're down to our final two objects. Look closely and see what you can see is happening. Right, I've got a key here. I'm going to place him carefully on the water. Oh, he stopped there for a minute and then went straight to the bottom. What about this plastic glass? Let's have a think. What's going to happen to this? Watch closely. Oh, he's floating on the top. Brilliant. Try and write out the words of the things that floated. Or if not, draw a picture. Or you can draw a picture and label it. Hope you've enjoyed the investigative work we've done today. Try it out at home. And I've got a friend who's come along and show you what he's had an idea of doing something himself. Oh, thank you there, Mr. Shelton. Pirate Pete here. Have you been learning about floating? Now, I've got my pirate boat here that I've made. I made it out of an old plastic box and I've stuck a picture of a pirate ship on it. Maybe you can make your own. Now, we're going to float him in the bath and see how many stones we put in, see if we can sink him to the bottom down to Davy Jones's locker. Let's see what we can find out. Right, I've got my ship floating on the water. Now I've got some stones out of the garden. I could use coins if you've got a smaller boat. Now we're going to count the rocks as we put them in, see how many it takes to sink him. Here we go, let's count with me. 1, he's still floating. 2, oh, sinking a little bit. Let's try another one. 3, he's still hanging in there. Let's try one more. Let's try a bigger one. This one's a bit heavy. This will make it 4. Oh, he's coming down now. Let's have a look. We've got 4. What about this big stone here? He's heavy. Let's see. 5. Oh no, he's sunk to the bottom. Well, he really sunk to the bottom there, didn't he? Try it at home. Let me know how you get on. Aye, aye, sailors.